All right, thank you. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to public comment for those joining us in person and also for those joining us by Zoom. I'm calling to order this public comment. The viewing can be viewed on Hartford Public Access Television Station.org, Channel 96 on Comcast, and Channel 6032 on Frontier. Going to do a little reading of some maintenance information for you, so please listen up. So the public comment shall be conducted in accordance with the following rules and regulation. Each person shall give his or her name, and if he or she represents a group, shall in addition state for the record the name and address of said group or organization. Each speaker has a limit and his or her remarks for 3 minutes. Councilman Gale is going to be the timekeeper, so keep an eye on it. You've got 3 minutes. We've got lots of speakers signed on, so I'm going to hold everyone to the 3 minutes, so therefore everyone will get an opportunity to speak. All remarks shall be addressed to the council as a body and not to individual members. During the public comment, no member of the council may address the member of the public. Any person making personal, impertinent, or slanderous remarks or who becomes boisterous while addressing the council shall be barred from further audience at said meeting. During the public comment, there shall be no debate by council, although questions may be asked by council or person making such presentation. So again, we've got lots of people signed up, and we're going to hold you to your 3 minutes. And the first person up to speak will going to be our wonderful registrar of voters, Gigi Feliciano. Gigi, the floor is yours.
Everyone hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank
Evening,
you.
everyone. I am here. My name is Giselle Feliciano, also known as Gigi. I am the Democratic Registrar here for the City of Hartford. I am here to call upon all residents and the viewing public to please come and exercise your right to vote. We now have 3 ways of the way you can go out and vote: early voting, in person at your polling location, or via absentee ballot through your town clerk's office here. So early voting will begin October 21st through November 3rd, and it will be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays. We'll be here from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., Tuesdays and Thursdays from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. I also want to advise everyone that October 18th, which is this Friday, we are open from 9 to 8 o'clock at night for anyone who has not had a chance to register. The 18th is the deadline for registration, although you do have the 14 days of same-day registration, but we do advise folks to take advantage of coming out, registering, making your voice count. So that's basically what I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I ask a question, Madam Registrar?
Yes, ma'am.
What sort of ID or what is the process for early voting, and where is it located, and how do they get into the...
I'm sorry. So early voting is going to take place at the Registrar Voters Office downstairs in room 002. You will approach the front desk. That is where my checkers will be and my ballot clerks, which will be the staff that currently works there. You would need either an ID of DMV, it could be a library card, it could be your Social Security. If you're coming in to do any type of same-day registration coming in from a different town, you will need to use, provide some type of identification that you have actually moved. It might take a little bit longer, but we do have that capability. And also on the day of election, for those, everyone has a crazy schedule, we do have same-day registration and ability to cast your vote here in the atrium as well. but down to a credit card to answer your question as a form of ID. And if you don't have one, you will sign an affidavit so you can cast your vote.
So let me ask you one last question regarding if handicap accessibility, and if you are unable to make it in the building, are there any process the voter may go through?
Yes, in every polling location, but we're going to talk about early voting. We have 2 handicap parking spaces that are found in front of City Hall. There will be a doorbell that rings in our office. 2 folks will go out, grab your ID, come out, and you are eligible to cast your vote in the privacy of your own vehicle. So that is one way, and that does occur in every polling location. There is a sign that says curbside voting.
Great. Thank you for sharing that information with us.
You're welcome. And also, if you are handicapped and you're able to go into the polling location or early voting, there is a mechanism called IVS, which is a machine that actually prints out. It's audible, it's touch screen, it's has a keypad, and it even has now a sip cup, so anyone who's not mobile and has an actual attachment to a sip cup.
Great.
Okay?
Thank you, Madam Registrar.
You're welcome.
Next up for talking would be on Zoom, Judith Shaw.
Yes, my name is Judith Shaw. I'm a resident of Berlin, Connecticut, and I'm a retired person who lived for many, many years in the city of Hartford in a variety of apartments and homes. I've been very drawn to the concerns and suffering of the Concord Hill apartment tenants. And I have followed quite carefully the newscast and the Facebook dialogues regarding their suffering. We're all pretty aware of it if we've been aware of what's going on in our city. And I still consider Hartford my city because I love Hartford and I love its people, and I always will be devoted to Hartford. Why do I feel so passionately about this? Because I was a mom with children and lived in a house on Lime Street, which unfortunately, when my children were 2 and 4, a fire started in our living room when I was upstairs in the bedroom with my very young sons, and we were trapped in a bedroom. And fortunately, thank God, a neighbor happened to come home from his 2 jobs to get some paperwork, just happened to be there and heard me screaming and was able to, release my children to his arms from the 2nd floor. So displacement, fear, horror ensued. Thus, that's one of the many reasons I feel a strong, strong affinity with the Concord Hill tenants. And let's remember, these are not tenants. That's what we generalize and call them. They are individual mothers, babies, children, young adults, people trying to make their way in the world, elders, people with disabilities. So the response of the city has just been baffling to me. I followed the wonderful, wonderful advocates who have been working day and night to improve the situation for these individuals. And we all know what's going on. And I don't believe in repeating their suffering, because these are human beings and they deserve justice and proper treatment and an assured plan that is measurable and available for them to read and understand and be treated as individuals. And I do not see that happening. Gray Hill has been beyond hiding from the tenants unless they come forward with their
Thank you, Ms. Shaw. We have a time limit. Thank you very much. If you have anything further, you can send in an email to us, but we have a time limit and we have others.
I understand.
I want to
that.
respect their time.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. And
Thank
I
you
appreciate
for your
everyone's
time.
listening.
Thank you. The next person on the list is Angela Davis Harris, and I believe I see her on Zoom here. Angela, Ms. Harris, are you around right now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, that's Angela Harris. In my 3 minutes, I would just like to call attention to a few things. And as the folks that are responsible for the fiscal matters of the city, I would also beg to lift up that you all should be concerned about the health and well-being of our city, the residents, and public safety is a critical factor. In public safety, we have to have a police force, a fire department, emergency dispatch communications, all of those folks, as we look at the news and watch all the FEMA response of the natural disasters, public safety is critical. And as a legislative body, I would hope that you would elevate this opportunity while the chief of police position is open, that you would also look at policies and procedures on how this department is being run. I have no comments on the other two public safety areas, but the police department really needs to have the hood lifted up and folks look inside as how things are operating. And I know everyone says, oh, the chief of police is the mayor's appointment. But you all have been elected to guide the well-being of the residents of Hartford and all the stakeholders therein. And when we have folks leaving the department in droves, something is wrong. When we have 100, I think the last number I heard was 126 officers short, and folks are working, being held over for double shifts, officers can't possibly be engaging with the community in the most positive light if they're exhausted, physically and mentally, from everything that they have to deal with from day to day. And as far as management of the department is concerned, that's critically important, but no one individual will wipe out all the toxicity that is embedded within this department. I implore you to please take this opportunity to evaluate the department. I haven't heard of a police accountability review board meeting in months and months and months. We have commissions that are not across the slate that are not filled. We need a list of open positions for every citizens commission so that folks know where the openings are and can plug themselves in where appropriate and apply. There's too many positions open in this city, and I don't even understand how the House of Cards hasn't collapsed already. We have back orders on permits waiting. MDC has projects backed up, and all of this construction that's going on, we don't even have enough inspectors to get things done. Yes, you all have fiscal responsibility, but please, operational controls need to really be put in place in so many different areas. My time is up, and I will probably send you all some written
the 3 minutes
notes.
Are up.
Thank you very much. You all have a blessed evening.
Thank you. Thank you very much. The next speaker is Leslie Hammond.
Leslie Hammond, 1 Linden Place, and I just want to say I love that I have so many people behind me. I can't wait to hear them speak. I concur with what Ms. Shaw was saying about Concord Hills. It's just disgraceful, especially since we supposedly have been focused on housing. Supposedly we have more housing inspectors. I don't know if that's true or not. It's just shameful the way people have been treated. And you might remember that years ago we got sued for millions for Vine Street for not handling that relocation properly, millions of dollars. So please be mindful. I also want to speak about Mr. Freeman. I know he's been really dedicated to this city. He tried for years to develop Woodland in Albany. I'm not sure what happened there, so I'm glad that he is focused on Edgewood, which has been empty for a while. My only concern is he did Park and Main, probably with some other people, and it's still missing retail down there. So I know it's been tricky times in the city in general for retail. So I just want, there's some oversight there. And also, as we've talked about in the past, years ago we've talked about this, is developers need to pay their taxes before we have a contract with them. So you might ask Development Services if they check that. I can tell you they haven't. So please urge them that that is a requirement with the city before they enter an agreement with somebody, that they're caught up on their taxes. So I'm sure it's an oversight, but it still does not look good. I love his story and the reason that he calls it 7 Summits, that he has climbed 7 summits. It's really an amazing story. So hopefully we can highlight that because he definitely is dedicated to Hartford. Thirdly, I do want to know what's going on with our building inspectors. As a realtor, you know, I just see so many New Yorkers coming in and buying multifamilies and apartment buildings. We've talked endlessly of knowing who these people are, knowing their LLCs. I don't know if that's ever happened, but it's super concerning because their interest is to get tenants out and revamp the buildings, rehab the buildings, and get more money. Or become slum landlords, one or the other. But either way, it's not helping our city at all. And lastly, my favorite topic, Batterson Park. I hear there's going to be public comment in a couple weeks. That would be nice to hear about. Of course, it's always interesting to me how that happens in the winter when it's a summer park. And, you know, a lot of people in the city don't really even know about it anyway. So I hope that somebody lets us know what's happening with that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The next speaker is Michael Hassan.
Good evening, members of the council. My name is Michael Hassan. I'm a resident of Irving Street, and I am here today representing both my neighbors and the Center of Leadership and Justice. We have been working on 614 Albany Avenue development for years, and this project holds a great deal of significance for us. This property, once a place of activity, community engagement, has become a source of frustration due to the loitering, negative behavior, but we see potential. We've engaged in the process from the start, surveying the neighborhood, giving input, activity participation, in the request for proposal, the RFP process. We are proud to have worked with 7 Summit Realty, led by Rohan Freeman, and believe that their vision aligns with our community's needs and desires. This development represents more than just a project. It's a vital step in reclaiming our neighborhood and creating a safe, productive space for future generations. We are excited about this opportunity. This project provides a strongly urge the council to move forward with it, including passing it to the Planning, Economic Development, and Housing Committee for review. This project deserves your full support and attention. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you so very much. Next person up to speak is Precious Ross.
Good evening, council
evening.
members. My name is Precious Ross Ellis, and I'm a proud homeowner and business owner in the community. I have lived here for many years and have seen both the potential and the challenges of our neighborhood. 614 Albany Avenue used to be a place where we would bring our families to play basketball and exercise. It was a gathering spot for the positivity and community interaction.
Is there a new one?
But over the years, it has become a place where drugs are sold and loitering happens regularly. This decline has been hard to witness, and as residents, we knew we had to take action. About a year ago, we advocated for the steel fence to be put around the property to help limit the negative behavior, and we were grateful when that was done or accomplished. We didn't stop there. Our community stayed engaged by participating in the RFP process and working hard to help select the right developer to turn this space around. I firmly believe that Ron Freeman and 7th Summit Realty are the right team to take this project. They have a clear vision and a commitment to revitalizing the area in a way that aligns with our values and goals. And as a community, I urge you to move this project forward, and we look forward to seeing that positive change it will bring. Thank you.
Thank you. Next person to speak is Keisha Dickinson.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Members of the Hartford City Council, my name is Keisha Dickinson, and I am the chair of the Upper Albany NRZ and also a homeowner of Irving Street. I am here today on behalf of the residents of Upper Albany and the Irving Street community who have worked tirelessly to see the development of 614 Albany Avenue come to fruition. The 614 Albany Avenue development represents a significant opportunity to revitalize our community and foster much-needed economic growth. This project will provide jobs, increase economic activity, and contribute to the overall well-being of our neighborhood. However, despite years of community input, participation in the RFP process, and securing funding in 2019, the project has been stalled due to delays in finalizing the purchase agreement. This delay is unacceptable. The community has done its part. We surveyed the neighborhood to determine what should be done with our city-owned property, worked alongside the city in the RFP process, and helped identify a developer. Now we ask that the city fulfill its responsibility and finalize the purchase agreement so that the project can move forward. This development is more than just bricks and mortar. It represents a vision for the future of our neighborhood, a future where residents have access to the opportunities and the resources they need to thrive. We demand the City of Hartford take immediate action to sign the purchase agreement and prioritize this development as a key piece of Hartford's future. Additionally, we look forward to seeing this matter pass to the Planning, Economic Development, and Housing Committee for a thorough review and swift action needed to ensure progress. Our community cannot afford to wait any longer. Thank you for your time, and I urge your act swiftly on this matter. Our community has waited long enough. Thank you.
Thank you. Luz Holmes.
Good evening, members of Hartford City Council. My name is Luz Holmes Paget, and I am the immediate past chair of the Upper Albany NRZ. I come before you today to urge immediate action on the development of 614 Albany Avenue, a project that has the potential to transform our community and create meaningful opportunities for residents. This development is more than just a project. It is a chance to revitalize Upper Albany, to breathe new life into our neighborhood, and to provide economic growth that will benefit both current and future generations. The Upper Albany community has been heavily involved in this project from the beginning. We surveyed the community, participated in RFP process, and helped select a developer that reflects the values and needs of our neighborhood. Funding for the project was secured in 2019, but progress has stalled due to the delays in finalizing the purchase agreement. This delay is unacceptable. The residents of Upper Albany have done their part, and we now call on the city to do its part by moving forward with this project. We urge the city of Hartford to immediately finalize the purchase agreement and make the development of 614 Albany Avenue a priority. The future of our community depends on it. We also ask that this matter be passed to the Planning, Economic Development, and Housing Committee for review so that we can ensure the project gets the attention and the action that it deserves. Arthur Lyman Shrimp, Ella Brown, Mary Johnson, Carrie Saxon Perry, Thurman Milner, Walter Doc Hurley, William Roar Hells, John E. Rogers, Reverend Colin B. Bennett. One thing that they all have in mind, the history of Hartford came from the north side of Hartford. These historians have made a commonality that there is significance in place. When people know where they come from and they grow from where they come from, they can prosper and be stakeholders and leaders that are not only known in Hartford, but are known around the nation. So when people understand the places that they come from, the history that they come from, and they're cultivated in those places, they become nationwide leaders. They're known around the nation. And so our history of North Hartford, that's not just at stake. It's the history of Hartford, Connecticut that's at stake. Because if we let places like this deteriorate, what does that say about our history for Hartford, Connecticut? And those names can be found, and there's plenty more that have come from it. So I highly encourage you to prioritize the meaning of what North Hartford means to the city of Hartford. Thank you.
Thank you. Reagan Bird.
Good evening, City Council President and Council
Good evening.
members. My name is Reagan Bird, and I am the Upper Albany Community Organizer at Blue Hills Civic Association. Our office is currently located at 1229 Albany Avenue at the corner of Albany Avenue and Blue Hills. Being at this location, we encounter hundreds of youth daily being released from school and transitioning into after-school hours back into Albany Avenue's environment. One thing I've learned as a community organizer is about the broken window theory. And it states that signs of disorder will lead to more disorder. A building with a broken window, an undeveloped lot left unrepaired gives an appearance that nobody cares and that nobody is in charge. Underdevelopment property makes the neighborhood unsafe. This is why we support the development of 614 Albany Avenue as a way to help Albany Avenue become a safe and friendly environment that positively transforms the youth. That's what we call safety. We believe the development of 614 Albany Avenue will increase economic opportunities, housing opportunities, and safety for our community. We see the developments downtown, and we appreciate them. We're grateful. But however, these families, these residents alongside Irvin, Garden Street, Mather, Vine Street, they deserve to have the same kind of attention. It would only be right if City Council follows the following steps, which is recommending that we expedite this process, we get this purchase agreement done for 614 Albany Avenue. Moving forward, by moving this project forward, we know that 614 Albany Avenue's project will help make this environment safe and friendly to transform our youth.
Thank you. For those who are here regarding Albany Avenue, just want to let everyone know that this item is going to be sent to the PD&H committee, and the committee meeting is going to be the first Wednesday of next month. So if you signed up here, I'm sorry? Yes, a virtual meeting, and it's going to be the first Wednesday in November, and we will send a notice out when this item goes to the committee. Next person up to speak is Ann Godashian.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
You already know me, most of you. Ann Goshtigian, 80 Weathersfield Avenue. I'm here tonight to talk about what is probably one of the major topics being discussed in the city right now, which is the residents of Concord Hills Apartments. Today marks 9.5 weeks since the fire that immediately displaced them from that building. They were not allowed to go back inside their apartments and take out any of their property. They were instead immediately sent to some very, very low-end, unsavory, unhealthy, disgusting hotels, which was actually against the state mandate, because within 2 weeks, they were supposed to be placed in temporary housing like hotels that was clean and safe and actually had kitchens where they could prepare their own food. They weren't sent to places like that. There has been some progress made. Firstly, the people who had serious medical issues or health issues or mobility issues were moved into better hotels. However, still, several tenants still do remain in these roach, mold, drug dealing, prostitution places where they're living, some of them with their children, some of them are senior citizens. At 9.5 weeks, this shouldn't be happening anymore. But here's the other thing. At that building on Sherbrooke Avenue, 105 to 111, there is an on-site property manager. She's a young woman, and I don't know how many of you may have read it in the Hartford News the last week or two, but the mayor had promised, and he made this public, that all the residents who had been displaced would be able to get their security deposits back. Supposedly he made a deal with the Gray Hill management that owns the building. A couple of the residents went over there to do that, and the on-site property manager, and I cannot repeat the words, but one of the people did record what she said to them in foul, disgusting language, threatening them, telling them that if they didn't show her respect, they weren't gonna get their effing deposits back. That is the same woman who, after the fire, took the master keys to the apartments, gave them to some guys they hired off the street to supposedly look into the apartments and assess the damage. Let me finish this, please. This is very important. And instead, they robbed those people. They stole their belongings. This is the same woman. I want you, the council, to urge the mayor to talk to the Concord Hills ownership, Gray Hill Group, and to immediately fire that woman who let these people in, these thieves who destroyed their apartments, who stole their private property and precious things. And now she's telling them, you better talk nice to me or you're not going to get your security deposit back. She needs to go.
Thank
she
you,
needs to
Ann.
go quickly, and I want you all to please urge the mayor. This is disgusting.
Thank you, Ann. Ann?
Excuse me.
No, I'm sorry, but you know, basically, we have another 10 or 15 people
Yes,
who
I
need to
do,
speak.
but there are people who have
So
spoken
could you
for more
wrap
than
this
3
up,
minutes,
please?
Shirley.
Could you wrap this up, please?
I will wrap it up, please. Also, there are other things. They were told by the city that they would all receive $4,000 to relocate to the new place. How many people have received that $4,000 yet? Marisol.
Oh,
but
all right.
the mayor told the
And?
newspaper,
And?
excuse me, one last sentence. He was quoted on television news and in the Hartford Courant as saying all of the tenants have received their $4,000,
right.
and that was 2 weeks ago.
All right, thank you.
Okay?
Thank you.
Take this seriously,
Thank
please.
you. Thank you. You know, I know this is a subject which is near and dear to everyone's heart. I truly understand. But we also need to be respectful to other people who want to also talk to us, okay? So please remember that. That's why we have a limit of 3 minutes. Next person will be Pastor A.J. Johnson.
Good evening, members of Hartford City Council, residents, and fellow community leaders. Just really quick, there's an African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together. And so I want to say thank you to each and every individual that's here supporting or have spoken on 614 Albany Avenue. I come before you today wearing 2 hats. One as the senior pastor of Urban Hope Refuge Church and as the director of neighborhood organizing for the Center for Leadership and Justice. Our work with the residents, particularly on Irvin Street, has been a testament to the power of community action, vision, and faith. I'm reminded of the words of Dr. Martin Luther King when he once said, "Faith is taking the first step even when you don't see the whole staircase." For us, that first step was advocating for the revitalization of 614 Albany Avenue, a place that once fostered community gatherings, athletic activity, and hope for the youth. But over time, what was once a symbol of promise has become plagued with loitering and drug activity. Ladies and gentlemen, we did not give up. A year ago, the community demanded the installation of a steel fence to curb the negative behavior, and we remain committed to the future of this site. We were deeply involved in the RFP process under the Bronin administration in selecting the right developer. We firmly believe that Rohan Freeman of 7 Summits Realty are the right partners to lead this project into a new chapter. This development is not just a project. It's restoring hope, creating economic opportunities, and developing a space where families can feel proud again. As a pastor and organizer, I have seen firsthand how the lack of investment in our neighborhoods can erode the spirit of our community. But tonight, we stand here and say, Hartford deserves better. And this development can be a beacon of that better future. So tonight, to my friends, Councilman Kelly, I haven't seen you since you were downstairs. It's so good to see you in that seat. We call on our friends at City Council to move this forward. As was stated tonight, Council President said this will be moving to the Planning, Economic Development, and Housing Committee for review. My friends, let's not delay this any further. Our residents have waited way too long. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Astrid Figueroa? Good evening.
Buenas tardes. Astrid Figueroa es mi nombre. Yo estoy aquí en representación de todas las personas del
Astrid, could you speak into the microphone? Thank you.
Yo estoy aquí en representación de todas las personas del 105 de la Sherbrooke Avenue en Concord Hills. Yo soy una de las afectadas por el incendio.
My name is Astrid Figueroa, and I'm here in representation of a lot of the tenants of 105 Sherbrooke Avenue, and I was affected by the fire.
Ya llevamos 2 meses, 2 semanas y todavía no recibimos ningún tipo de ayuda del estado de Hartford.
It's been 2 months and 2 weeks, and we still haven't received the proper help from the city of Hartford.
Yo soy madre soltera de 2 niños, uno de ellos tiene la condición de autismo. Se nos ha hecho bien difícil la situación en la que hemos estado viviendo en un motel desagradable, con prostitución, sucios.
I'm a single mom of 2 children, one of them being autistic, and it's been really hard the last couple of months living in the situation that we were in a dirty hotel where it was just nasty and there was like drugs and prostitution.
Yo necesito que lo que el alcalde nos ha prometido lo realice. Necesitamos una reunión con los dueños del edificio de Concord Hills y que ellos nos respondan por todos los daños y las pérdidas que hemos tenido.
We want that everything the mayor of Hartford has offered or promised, he comes through with it, and that he gives us, or he promised that he was going to get Concord Hill to sit down at the table with us and have a meeting, and they need to answer for everything that we lost.
Yo necesito que se le haga saber al alcalde que la situación en la que estamos es bastante difícil y que necesitamos de su apoyo y de su ayuda.
We need to let the mayor know that the situation that we are in is very hard and difficult, and that we do need his help.
Thank you.
Thank you. Marisol Navarro.
Good evening. My name is Marisol Navarro. I've been here quite a few times because I always have a lot to say. Priority. You guys use the word priority. Is not a priority of the city. Not the city, the mayor of Hartford. And the reason I say this is because we've been coming here. We've been on every newscast you can imagine in this city. And still, we haven't gotten the help that we need. He has offered a lot of things. Most of it has been media circus, because he had, about a month ago, he had all different departments of the city come to a room here, and we came in. No one could answer our questions. Everyone took our phone numbers and our names and our information. No one has called us. He had the audacity to say that he gave everyone $4,000 to move out. No one has received any money, because that money is for security deposits, and the list of apartments that he has given either are worse from where we came from. Like, if any one of you will go through most of these buildings, will not live there, or let your kids or grandkids live there. Another thing is that he sat down and to our faces on Tuesday, he promised, okay, that he was gonna have our tenants that were still staying at these motels removed or moved into a better hotel, and it's not until tonight as we're speaking. The reason you don't see more tenants here is because they're helping those tenants that don't have transportation or anything like that move into the better hotel. It's a shame that the mayor of Hartford sits there. Every time there's the ribbon cutting, and like he even left our meeting early because he had a prior engagement. It's the second time he does that to us. That he leaves, and then his chief of staff sits there and lies for him. with his pretty blue little eyes, okay? I'm sick of people disrespecting us. We've been disrespected enough. We have until December 9th to find apartments and move out of this hotel. I'm gonna tell you one thing. Right now, I have medical issues. I do not have proof of employment. And I'm gonna tell you one thing, since I know nobody is gonna rent to me. On December 9th, I will come and I'll camp. I'll bring my things and I'll camp here and let's see who's gonna take me out of here. If I have nowhere to go and the city have not answered to our needs, because this is already too much. My apartment didn't burn down. My apartment didn't have any water damage. It didn't have any smoke damage. My apartment was destroyed by the people that were brought into Concord Hill to do work. Not only they destroyed my apartment, and I have plenty of pictures for any one of you who wants to see it, or what my apartment looked like before, they robbed anything of value that I have, and now I gotta stay in a hotel, okay? Not knowing what my future is gonna be. Thank you.
Thank you. Keisha Dickinson. No? Oh, she did. Okay. Floyd Johnson. Mr. Johnson?
Good evening.
Good
Council
evening.
Board. How y'all doing? I know we're on a time limit. My name is Pastor Floyd Johnson. I'm from the north end of Hartford. I grew up in Stowe Village, born and raised. We have some issues that we're going to hold the city of Hartford for. First issue is that we know that the Spring Grove Cemetery is a private-owned cemetery, but it was given by me and State Rep Kong, a one-time cleanup was requested and granted. And when they did the cleanup, from my understanding of some information that I have got, that the city of Hartford had bidded it out with $130,000 and nothing wasn't done with it. So we holding y'all accountable for that. And also, we also have started a petition now that we are now having residents signing. They are angry about this whole situation. Now I have went on a state level and they trying to grab some funding for at least $150,000. And also, I have a youth program called Tapping the Violence Youth Program that's been up since 2008. I started back in with the organization Other Piece of the Pie, and they supported me very well. And I had a meeting with the city council president here, and we went further to go upstairs to the Department of Family and Youth Service, where they promised me some space. I'm not asking for no money, never did, never will. I did this on my own since 2008 with the support of Other Piece of the Pie. No other organization has supported this program. I have sent 2 youth gang members to college. I also graduated 145 kids from Weaver High School. I also like to bring to attention about the Unity Plaza. We have an issue there that need to be addressed. I know it's private owned from someone out of New York that's not paying attention to it. We got ministers like Pastor AJ and myself and Minister Lovejoy that's in the community daily trying to make something happen to stop the violence. Violence has risen very high in the city of Hartford. It is not nothing being attended to it. So as us being active community and other organizations have stepped out forward to try to stop the violence in the city of Hartford. I don't know what you guys are trying to do, but it seems like nothing being done on your behalf. And I also would like to announce that I am running for city council in 2027, and I'm making a change for the city of Hartford because there's too much going on and nobody is doing nothing about it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next person up to speak will be Suprio. I apologize for messing up your name.
Good evening, City Council.
My name is Supriya B. Chatterjee. I've been a resident and working in the area for almost 40 years, 38 years to be precise. I'm here to talk about Hartford Brainerd Airport. I consider it to be the jewel in the crown of Hartford. It's well over 103 years old. And we've had repeated dramas about it, a lot of money being spent, $1.5 million to do a study in it. And all these reports, the past 3 of them, come to the same conclusion, that the best use of that airport is an airport. But what I'm talking about today is really about economic jobs, quality jobs that can come out of this airport. This airport, a lot of the corporations in town use the airport. These are corporations that really like the airport. They hold 10, 15,000 jobs in town, and it is important for our regional economy. There are educational programs in the airport, flight training, mechanic training, and so on, and we can bring in more businesses to the airport, and that is precisely what we need to do now. The last report kept it open and considered economic development of the airport as a major component of the airport. But what we need to do is, and especially it's in the hands of the council as well as the mayor. I have sent the mayor 3 emails already saying that they need to make the council, the city hall, and the mayor needs to make the position very clear. No longer sitting on the fence, but we need to be very supportive of the airport economic development. I have personally brought in almost half a dozen businesses, brought them to the airport, showed them around the place. And they can, one literally said, I can bring in about anything to about 50, 60 jobs in the next 2 or 3 years if I can have economic development opportunities. So what I ask you is to seriously consider your position and make it very clear. Maybe perhaps exercise a prerogative, form a committee to look into this. But the US Congress in the FAA Reauthorization Act a couple of months ago, explicitly said that we need to keep our airports open because airports can be economic engines for the community. So please make your position very clear of keeping this airport open and that you will support businesses who are going to be coming to the airport and creating new jobs for us. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you. We have no other speaker for the, unfortunately. It's 7:04. Our council meeting normally starts at 7. And so, we normally have everyone sign up. So I will just give you 1 minute. And as long as am I agreeing to 1 minute? Because we have to go in to get ready for council.
I'm going to agree to 1 minute. Thank you, Madam President. Good evening to the council members. My quick comment is about the flooding and the Crumlin Foundation. I know I came before and spoke about the Crumlin Foundation, but today I got access of a letter addressing the Crumlin Foundation insurance that is being provided to residents out in the suburbs who were dealing with Crumlin Foundation, which is caused by someone's negligence. Coming in January, we want to pursue legislation for the residents of Hartford to get protection through something similar that has been provided to these residents out there in the suburbs. So I'm going to come back again and hopefully Majority Leader, Madam President, we can get together and talk about going to legislation and see if homeowners in Hartford and business owners' properties can be protected like they are in the suburbs. Okay,
great. Thank you. You did your 1 minute. Thank you so very much for being respectful. So I'm calling this public comment to close. Give us about 10 minutes and we can start our council meeting.